Story time. We got a million of them, because like we're all old now and been doing this forever, so we got as many stories as you can handle. But this is a good story. This is a fun story. So humor me for 1 minute. First time we got introduced to Rudy von Strasser, we were invited by a really teeny tiny broker at the time, back in 1993 or so, to a dinner in LA, and we said, yeah, cool. And she's like, yeah, I got a bunch of new brands to show you. And it was really cool. We went to dinner at this place in LA, and basically we tasted von Strasser's wine, and at the time Randy and Debbie Lewis Wine Cellars, or no, actually at the time it was Oakville Ranch, had just launched Oakville Ranch, so we tasted the first vintages of Oakville Ranch, and the dinner was amazing. The chef at the time was this out of work guy, looking for a job and getting ready to open a new restaurant, a guy by the name of Thomas Keller. So yeah, French Laundry, yeah, that guy. The food was really good, and his olive oil was great. We sold his olive oil, but I'm digressing now. Point is, we've been working with Rudy's wine since his first vintage, his inaugural vintage, 1990 was Rudy von Strasser's first vintage. But you know, nobody can do this forever, right? The wine business, even though it's fun, is still intense. You know, at some point you can sit there and go like, tapping out, right? So basically a few years ago, Rudy tapped out. When he tapped out, it gave us a wonderful opportunity, which I have in front of me today. So in front of us is the Rudy Zinfandel 2018 North Coast. Now, North Coast. North Coast is catch-all. It can mean Napa, Sonoma, Mendocino, Anderson. Like, North Coast is like this series of 4 or 5 appellations that can be included in the blend. And for many years, this wine produced by Rudy von Strasser at Von Strasser Winery was that blend. He did seek out other fruit for this. But in the end, there's one very special vineyard in particular that makes up the entire lot of this particular wine. So we're rewinding again a little bit. Let's rewind back. When Rudy first got on the mountain in the late 80s, early 90s, his vineyard's a great vineyard. It's right in the heart of Diamond Mountain next to some other heavy hitters. One of the vineyards up there, and one of the guys he befriended was a gentleman by the name of Munhoff. And Munhoff had a great old Zinfandel vineyard, the only Zinfandel vineyard on Diamond Mountain. And Rudy hooked up with him, they became buds, and Rudy was like, yeah, I'll buy your grapes. It was a 1.25 acre vineyard, teeny tiny, planted in the 1960s, head trained, dry farmed, classic, cool, gnarly old Zinfandel vineyard, but up on Diamond Mountain. How cool is that? Like, it already sounds cool. And for a number of years, Rudy made a Munhoff single vineyard Zinfandel under his von Strasser label, very limited, sold only direct from the winery, 200 cases a year, et cetera, et cetera. And that wine was like 45 bucks a bottle, sell out every year, super popular. I mean, hell's bells, if you're a Zin fan, if you have a chance to buy the only single vineyard Zin that's old vine from Diamond Mountain made by Rudy von Strasser, who made 100 Point Wines, why wouldn't you buy it? Well, the answer is everybody did buy it. Now, fast forward, Rudy's like, I'm getting out, I'm done doing this. And it's like, God bless you, sir. You had a great run, you made fabulous wines. But he's like, no, I still got the contract with Munhoff. So he's like, well, of course I'm gonna buy the grapes still and make this happen. But in the 2018 vintage, I think this is the Swan Song. I think this is the last Rudy wine. He was kind of like, okay, screw it. Well, I don't have contracts with anybody else. So I'm not gonna buy any more fruit because I'm getting out. But I still got the contract with the Munhoffs, but I'm not gonna make a single vineyard Munhoff wine. That's so much work. So, okay, I'm gonna make the Rudy Zin, but it's only gonna be in the Munhoff vineyard. What? Okay. And he could have put Napa Valley on here, but he didn't want to deal with all the TTB BS and all that kind of stuff, right? Because he's getting out. Why do you want more paperwork? And the whole point is to friggin' leave. So the issue is like, okay, I'm gonna make the Rudy Zin. It's gonna be all Munhoff. Here you all go. Thank you very much. Have a great life. And that's what he did here. So what's inside this bottle is not what the label indicates. The gear here is, in fact, could be easily the single vineyard Von Strasser Munhoff Vineyard Old Vine Zinfandel from Diamond Mountain Ranch that sells for $45 all day long. It could be all day long. But fact of the matter is, this is a wonderful byproduct of Rudy going, I give zero shenanigans. And his agent going, okay, well, I give zero shenanigans either. essentially what happens is the wine just kind of sits in wine purgatory, doesn't really get marketed, COVID comes, yada, 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 you know the whole story. And a couple years later, we get a door knock. We have 90 cases of Zinfandel, and we tasted it, we said, this wine's effing great, what's the story? And they said, here's the story, and we said, oh, the story's greater, and it's at least as good, if not greater, than the wine. We're all in. So we took the entire balance of the production of the so labeled Rudy Zinfandel North Coast 2018. But in fact, we're dealing with super tasty, lush but not heavy mountain Zinfandel from a great year, from a top winemaker. Yeah, this is stupid. You can't make this up. Like, if someone said to me, okay, what do you need for this wine to sell? I'd be like, well, I need this, and I need this. And of course you can't do all that. And then the guy goes, yeah, we can. It's like, okay, yeah, we're in. Absolutely compelling bottle of Zinfandel. Now, Mountain Zin in Napa is different than Sonoma Zin. Let's get this straight right now. This is more like if you drink like Storybook Mountain, if you drink those Howell Mountain Zinfandels, like from Outpost, Beatty Ranch, Green and Red. This wine's this kind of mojo. There's a little more pepper. It's a little more what we call claret style. It's not as jammy. There's no Petit Syrah, I think, here mucking up the works. I think it's 100% 50-plus-year-old Zinfandel from mountain terroir. Super compelling. Quite similar to the Howell Mountain Zins. I love this gear. This is stupid. All right, so we talked price. Well, we're taking all of it. The Rudy label, when all the other not so good stuff blended in, was like a $25 retail Zinfandel, right? Something like that. But what do you do when all the good stuff of the single vineyard wine that should have been made is just in this with the Rudy label on it? Like, what do you do? So we said, okay, well, we want to sell for $10. I mean, we're like, okay, like, they're not gonna say yes. And then they were like, okay. And we were like, okay, we're doing this. Legit $45 single vineyard old vine Diamond Mountain Zinfandel from the great Rudy von Strasser. God bless you, Rudy. You had a great career. We loved your wines. We love selling your wines. And but today we're going hard to the hoop for $10. Some of you remember that D-Cubed offer we did a few years back with Dwayne Doppin's D-Cubed wine. This is at that level, if not even more compelling. Sensational, ridiculous red wine for the money from a single vineyard proven terroir, which, oh, by the way, in 2020, the Monhof Vineyard burned. It's gone. So not only do you get history in the glass, you get unrepeatable history in the glass. The vineyard is dust. It's gone. Kaput. Later. Singed. Burned to the ground. No more Monhof Zinfandel, even if we wanted it. Well, take that back. No more 50-plus-year-old old clone Monhof Zinfandel, even if we wanted it. Dude, buy all of this. Buy it all right now. If you don't, we will come to your house and ding-dong ditch you.